Well, team, officially, welcome to your wedding. I know that everybody's told you that today's going to fly by, but I'm going to reiterate that and bore you again. For some reason, the feelings that you have today, nerves and excitement and adrenaline, in the real world, normally that means the day goes in slow motion, but for some reason on a wedding day, the opposite happens. And if you blink, you're going to miss this thing. So spend the day just checking in with each other and breathe and take stock of the incredible thing you're doing and the incredible day you've planned. That's it. Deep breaths. Actually, let's rip off the Band-Aid. I know you try not to eyeball these people, but let's turn and look at your favourite people. Chloe, you can give them a wave. Tim, do you want to blow some kisses, mate? These are your favourite people. Okay, come back to the middle. Talk to me. Family and friends. I said this before, and I'm going to reiterate now that these two are standing here together. This is a celebration. We all know it's a celebration of love and commitment, but it's also a celebration of you lot, family and friends. I know that you guys are going to be supportive of these two, not only today, but for the journey that they've got ahead for many years to come. But right now, I want you to let them know. I tried to warm you up for this before, and you were pretty good. I need you to be better. What I want you to do is let them know how supportive of them you are today and will be for many years to come via volume and participation. So on the count of three, we're going to make as much noise as possible. The idea is that the level of those things that you give is going to directly indicate how much love you have for these guys. So the pressure's on. The pressure's on. You can join in if you want. The pressure's on, folks. We need you to lift the roof off this place. On the count of three, how supportive of these two are you today and will you be for years to come? 3, 2, 1. That is good. You've got the right people here, which is what we want. Look, folks, we're all grown up enough to know that love isn't just happily ever after. Love is the experience of writing your own story, and every good story has adventure and adversity and ups and downs. Love isn't one single moment or chapter, not even one that feels as incredible as what's going on here today. By the time two people get to this point, where they want to stand in front of their favourite people with sweaty palms that are probably a bit shaky, love is every moment. Love is made of things that happen even before you met. It's people, places, passions that shaped who you became and who you brought to this relationship. Love is formative and transient things. Tim's childhood was a blur of postcodes and packing boxes. Growing up in an Air Force family meant new friends, new schools, constant change, but it also meant epic family holidays. Hong Kong, Paris and the UK, as well as childhood friendships that turned into lifelong connections. Chloe, on the other hand, grew up in just one suburb, but also in a household full of love. The family faced challenges but pulled together and the bonds are deep. Her happiest memories were at her grandparents' cattle station. For her, flying across frozen ground on a quad bike with her pop was absolute bliss. Love is youthful obsessions. Chloe's ranged from Nathan and High Five to animals, science, a lab coat she proudly wore through her teens. Tim was all about electronics, model aircraft, Stargate.
Still is.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, is. With just enough taekwondo thrown in there to keep things physical. Love is dependable things. Tim's childhood nicknames, Timster and Timony, didn't stick. But what has stuck is his calm presence, his reliability, solid as they come kind of nature. Chloe's nickname, Chucky, has followed her since forever. And she's been described as emotional, excitable, and full of giggles, which is all on display right now. I love it. It's worth noting also that love is often mundane things, just like listening and sharing about your day. It's subconscious things like designing your life to fit your careers and your passions. It's little jokes, of course, that you share in private. But it's also periods of time when you're helping each other through parts of your life that are not so great. The point is that love is everyday stuff that most of the time, nobody other than you two will even know what's going on. But all the big things and all the seemingly inconsequential little ones, they fuse together into one unique story, one incredible story, and that is your love story. And because we're here to celebrate your love story, I'm going to stop third wheeling up here with you guys. I'm going to stand off to the side for a second. You can throw an arm around each other and get comfy and face the front so you can talk to your people. Do you mind if I stand here, mate? Sorry. He just got that lined up too. Folks, I know I argued that love isn't a fairy tale all the time, but I do like a juxtaposition and a contradiction because love and life can be like that. So with that in mind, I hope you will allow me to regale you with a love story. This is the tale of how Chloe and Tim came to be. Chloe and Tim's love story began with some very sweaty flirtation. Before anyone gets carried away or uncomfortable, let me finish. They first met at the gym in Canberra, a class-based setup like F45, where they'd trade friendly banter between squats and warm-ups. It was a slow burn, just a bit of low-key cheek and casual camaraderie. That is until Chloe's mum literally handed Tim her number one morning after class, not so subtly suggested they team up for an upcoming gym event. How good are mums? Tim didn't message straight away. His phone was locked away at work all day. But Chloe spent those hours in peak 17-year-old girl mode, refreshing her screen, replaying in her mind every warm-up chat that they'd had at the gym. When his message finally came through that evening, she was ready, game on. Their first official date was not your usual dinner and drinks. Tim took Chloe to Cockington Green Gardens, a miniature village attraction where before they even left the house, he had to survive Pop's shotgun jokes. I've got him here, but I'm not going to say him in the ceremony. Time and a place, you know. Anyway, it worked because from that very first date, things just stuck. There was no grand defining moment when they made it official. They both just were. A few days later, they kissed in his car outside the gym. And just like that, they weren't just gym buddies anymore. They were a team. Sure, Chloe was a little bit younger, but Tim won over her whole world with his punny jokes, steady kindness, and the kind of presence that made Chloe feel like she was both strong and treasured all at once. Years later, after Chloe had moved to Brisbane and Tim was preparing to follow, he pulled off the ultimate fairy tale proposal. At Chloe's Disney-themed 21st, dressed as Prince Charming to her Cinderella, he called her into the centre of the room during speeches, dropped to one knee, and popped the question in front of all the people that mattered most. The ring, vintage white gold band that once belonged to Chloe's great-grandmother, the one she'd been obsessed with since she was a little girl. And the answer, a very easy yes, of course. The girl in the tiny pink gym shorts had found her prince. And he's been spotting her at the gym and way beyond the gym ever since. Now, for being entirely courageous to give me all the details and allowing me to tell you this story, but mainly for being courageous enough to be authentic to themselves in life and love, please give these two a massive round of applause. Now we're going to come back down to earth. I know Chloe wants this to be a fairy tale, but it's not going to be a fairy tale. We're coming back down to earth. This is the real world for these guys. Home for Chloe and Tim is sunny Wynnum. Just close enough to the water to soak up the coastal vibes, but far enough inland to stay bookish and nerdy, just a little bit reclusive. It's a home filled with tech, towers of books, and most importantly, two furry housemates. Their nights don't follow a strict routine. It really depends on how tired Chloe is after a full day of teaching. Cooked was what she said, how cooked she is. And whether Tim's been out dragon boating or playing pickleball. But more often than not, dinner gets prepped and shared. Tim's usually the one cooking. And then it's onto the couch to unwind. They might read, play video games together. That wasn't even the joke. They might read, play video games together, or settle in for one of their go-to comfort shows like NCIS. These are comfort shows, by the way. NCIS, Bones, Have You Been Paying Attention, or Highway Cops. Ideal nights are simple pleasures, takeout, cuddles, good TV. And somehow the magical ability to eat whatever they want without gaining a kilo. They do make time for date nights, though sometimes they take unconventional forms, like a surprise Sunday brunch outing or a spontaneous stroll along the esplanade. A long weekend might mean a staycation at the Gold or Sunny Coast, or just as easily staying home and enjoying the peace. Chloe would nap. Tim would enjoy having full control of the remote while she naps. And as for who wears the pants, it's a joint effort with clearly defined styles of pants. Tim runs the practical household stuff, handles all things logistical, financial, plus a bit of future-proofing. Chloe wears the social pants, pulls the strings on the fun stuff. Together they bring the perfect mix of stability and spontaneity. Chloe says it best, they're very simple at the core, but underneath that simplicity is 10 years of love, laughter, cats and connection. They are for very good reason, very happy and very proud of the life that they are building and still carving out for themselves today. These two listed many lovely things about each other. Chloe, does this make you nervous? Chloe, Tim says he loves how ready you always are to jump into life. Whether it's an event, a dinner, or catching up with friends, you bring spontaneity and energy that keeps things fun, fresh, and full of surprises. Tim, Chloe says it's your steadiness, your emotional strength that gets her through. Even when she's riding 4 waves of feelings in an hour, you hold the line and you calm the chaos. Chloe, Tim says he knows exactly what to order you from Grilled, or Chinese, or Indian, because you never change your order. It used to baffle him, but now it's weirdly comforting to him. Like your go-to dinner is just one more part of who you are. Tim, Chloe says your arms are her safe space. Nestled into your shoulder is where she feels protected, grounded, and loved. Better than any meds, better than any therapy, it's just you. Chloe, Tim says you've got this beautiful ability to see joy in the smallest things. You're more stop and smell the roses than he is, and it reminds him to slow down and actually enjoy the moment. Tim, Chloe says your logic is her anchor. In her sea of feelings and to-do lists and Year 11 maths chaos, you are the calm, and you also do the chores, and that makes you a superhero. Chloe, Tim says one of your most lovable traits is how much you care for everything and everyone. You give 150%, sorry. My maths, I need you to help me out with that. Whether it's hosting dinner, supporting a friend, or just trying to make life a little brighter for somebody, he sees it always. Tim, Chloe says without you, life would feel bleak. You are her balance, her soft place to land. She says you are the reason she feels strong enough to show up again and again. For life, for love, for all the messy, beautiful bits in between. It's clear to me that you guys are each other's person. You live in the real world. You see each other's imperfections or weaknesses, as few of these as there obviously are. And you know that this is just stuff that makes you human beings. But most importantly, you acknowledge and appreciate each other's strengths, and you value these for your relationship. You share many loves in life, but none more than your love for one another. So it is my great honour to be here for both of you today. Family and friends, my name is Jake Newell, and as a civil marriage celebrant, I am duly authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law. Before you two are joined in marriage in my presence and in the presence of all your favourite people, I am to remind you of the solemn and binding nature of the relationship into which you are now about to enter. Marriage, according to law in Australia, is the union of two people to the exclusion of all others voluntarily entered into for life. Now, blink 3 times if you're not doing this voluntarily. These guys shared loads of beautiful words with me, as you can see, and I could stand here and relay more of them to you, but I know these guys and you are keen to get on with the celebrating of this incredible thing that we're doing today. Plus, they've written some beautiful vows, and they are now going to share those vows with each other, and you guys are going to listen in. Do you want me to chase him? All right, we're going to hear some vows. They're probably not stoked about reading them on the microphone, so what we're going to do is make a little bit of noise so they feel nice and comfy, and then we're going to hear some beautiful words from these two beautiful human beings. So make them feel comfy, folks. A little bit of noise, please.
I'll go first. I think that'd make me more comfortable, wouldn't it?
So much, by the
Okay.
way.
I'm going to cry either way, so.
That's fine.
You take that and take this. Hold it nice and high for me. Read all the words. Take your time and breathe.
I've got the best maid of honour in the world. She's perfect if anyone needs one. She comes pre-trained.
And trained.
Sorry, taken.
Maid of honour, not wife.
I, Chloe Jean Stanley, take thee, Timothy Mark Dooley, to be my lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold through endless hours of video games. I vow to stand beside you for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. I promise to love you without condition, to grow, thrive, and stand with you through every high and low. I choose you every day, forsaking all others, and to rely on your emotional strength whilst helping you see the wonder of the world. Ooh. I vow to show you my love for you every day, in big ways and in small, and ensure that you never doubt that you are my happily ever after, till death do us part. I knew I was going to need it.
Hold it nice and high.
My turn now. I, Timothy Mark Dooley, take thee, Chloe Jean Stanley, to be my lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold, for better, for worse, and for everything in between. I vow to always look to you as my source of wonder and joy, and provide you calm, strength, and logic when in need. I promise to stand beside you through every emotional high and low, to grow, thrive, and adventure with you in sickness and in health. I will choose you every day, forsaking all others, and continuously aid us to become the best versions we can be. I vow to be your partner, your best friend, and your Disney companion, and show you my love every single day, till death do us part.
How lovely is it listening to two human beings just stand in the present in a setting like this and speak so openly from the heart. It's not an easy thing to do at any time, let alone in this kind of tense setting. So let's give them another round of applause for those beautiful vows. Chloe and Tim have also chosen to exchange and wear wedding rings. There's loads of anecdotes about the rings and what they symbolise, but I like to think of them simply as something that's physical and visible, that represents a deeper emotional connection that our eyes cannot see. Can I get you to bring some rings up here, mate? Thank you. Okay, mate, we're going to slide that halfway down Chloe's ring finger and just hold it there for a second for me. Tim, with this ring, do you promise to care for, respect, honour and love this beautiful woman with all of your heart for the rest of your days?
I do.
Tim, will you do your best to always be the rock to Chloe's roll? And do you promise you will strive to always be the thoughtful, calm, loving, loyal, big-hearted, incredibly handsome man that she sees you as today?
I do.
Please lock in those answers, mate.
Thank you, Hildy.
Okay, we're going to do the same. Slide that halfway down Tim's finger and hold it there. Chloe, With this ring, do you promise to care for, respect, honour and love this handsome gentleman with all of your heart for the rest of your days?
I do.
Chloe, do you promise to try to maintain your energetic, loving, compassionate, down-to-earth nature? But most importantly, do you promise to feel secure in the knowledge that this guy will always be there by your side to help you through anything physical or emotional?
I do.
Please lock in those answers. Family and friends, what an honour it must be for you all to be part of this ceremony here today. You are more than witnesses. You are participants and honoured guests that these two dearly wanted to be with them on a day like today. It's abundantly clear to me, so I'm sure it is to you, that these two are each other's person and a perfect match. With your love story fresh in our minds, your beautiful words to each other embedded in our hearts, and brand new bling on your fingers. Without further fuss, it is my great pleasure to pronounce you two in front of all your favourite people, husband and wife. Tim, this is it, mate. You may now kiss your beautiful bride.